Have you ever wondered how a single event can drastically change the course of history? Let us take a journey back to the early morning hours of December 7th, 1941. As dawn broke over the Pacific, the island of Oahu, home to the Pearl Harbor Naval Base, was about to witness an event that would forever alter the trajectory of the 20th century. The geopolitical climate of the time was fraught with tension. The United States and Japan, two dominant powers of the Pacific, were locked in a complex dance of diplomacy and aggression. Japan, with its imperial ambitions, was expanding rapidly across Asia, causing unease in the American administration. Despite this, no one anticipated what was about to unfold. The attack on Pearl Harbor was not just unexpected, it was unprecedented. In the early hours of that fateful Sunday, the sky filled with the ominous drone of aircraft engines. Japanese fighter planes, bombers, and torpedo planes descended upon the harbor, catching the American Pacific Fleet completely off guard. The date was a strategic choice by the Japanese. Sundays were typically quiet days at the harbor, with most servicemen off duty, away from their posts, enjoying a well-deserved break. The surprise was absolute. It was a masterstroke of military deception, a gambit that relied on the element of surprise to deliver a devastating blow. In those terrifying hours, the tranquil Sunday morning was transformed into a scene of chaos and carnage. Ships were sunk, planes were destroyed, and lives were lost. The once bustling harbor was reduced to a smoldering ruin, a stark testament to the destructive power of war. The attack on Pearl Harbor was not just an assault on a naval base, it was an assault on American soil, on American pride, and on the American spirit. It marked the end of the United States' isolationist stance and propelled the nation onto the global stage. And just like that, America was thrust into the chaos of World War II. As the smoke cleared, the devastation was impossible to ignore. The aftermath of the attack was a chilling sight, a grim testament to the fury of war. The once bustling naval base of Pearl Harbor was now a graveyard of sunken ships and fallen heroes. The American fleet had suffered a crippling blow. 8 battleships, 3 cruisers, and 4 destroyers were damaged or destroyed. Over 200 aircraft were obliterated, their metal carcasses strewn across the airfields. But the most devastating toll was in human lives. Over 2,400 Americans were killed and more than 1,000 were injured, a loss that would echo through the decades. These were not faceless statistics, but sons, fathers, and husbands. They were brave individuals who had risen with the dawn, unaware that they were living their final hours. In the wake of this catastrophe, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed the nation. With a voice as steady as the resolve in his heart, he proclaimed December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. His speech, broadcasted across the nation, echoed in the living rooms of America, rallying its citizens in a time of despair. Roosevelt's words did not fall on deaf ears. The shock of the attack quickly gave way to a surge of unity and determination. The day after the attack, America declared war on Japan. The once divided nation stood united, with men and women from every corner rising to answer the call of duty. They were prepared to fight for their country, their freedom, and for the memory of those lost in Pearl Harbor. The attack had been intended to cripple the United States, to shatter its morale and break its spirit. But instead, it had the opposite effect. It ignited a flame of resolve that would burn brightly in the hearts of Americans. The tragic events of that day would forever alter the course of history, shaping a nation's destiny and its role in the world. In the face of tragedy, America found its resolve. The echoes of Pearl Harbor still resonate today. In the wake of the attack, America was irrevocably altered. The shock of Pearl Harbor was the catalyst that propelled the United States into the Second World War, reshaping its foreign policy and military strategy. The isolationist stance that had characterized the nation's approach to international affairs was discarded overnight. America was now a key player on the world stage, a role it has maintained to this day. The attack on Pearl Harbor also had profound implications domestically. Fear and suspicion towards those of Japanese descent ran rampant, leading to one of the darkest chapters in American history, the internment of Japanese Americans. Despite their loyalty to America, over 100,000 individuals were forcibly relocated and incarcerated in internment camps, their lives uprooted based solely on their ethnic heritage. a stark reminder of the damage that fear and prejudice can inflict. This period still serves as a cautionary tale against the dangers of racial profiling and discrimination. But the long shadow of Pearl Harbor extends beyond politics and policy. It has permeated popular culture, forever imprinted in the collective memory of the nation. Books, films, and music continue to explore this pivotal moment, each new interpretation adding to the rich tapestry of narratives that constitute our understanding of the event. From the solemn commemorations observed every December 7th, to the USS Arizona Memorial standing as a silent sentinel over the sunken battleship, Pearl Harbor is never far from our minds. In many ways, the echoes of Pearl Harbor continue to reverberate, shaping not only the course of American history but also its national identity. It stands as a testament to resilience in the face of adversity, a reminder of the sacrifices made, and a call to never let such a tragedy occur again. Pearl Harbor, a pivotal moment that continues to shape our world. Pearl Harbor, a day of destruction, a day of unity. The unexpected attack on this day of infamy cast a long shadow over our nation's history. It marked the United States' entrance into the Second World War, a conflict that would reshape the world. But more than that, it was a moment that brought us together in the face of adversity. In the wake of the attack, Americans of all walks of life rallied together, demonstrating a unity and resolve that would lead them to victory. This unity, born of tragedy, remains a vivid reminder of our collective strength when we stand as one. As we reflect on the events of Pearl Harbor, let us remember not just the destruction, but also the unity it inspired. History, after all, is not just a record of our past, but a tool to shape our present and our future. Remembering Pearl Harbor, we understand the power of unity in the face of adversity.